Clear. Yo, are we okay now? Have we accepted that Glock is changing forever? are we are we okay? we still, you know what? Voice cracking. You know what? I'm getting rid of this. If you want it, let me know. Just wanted to say that. This is the extra large clip-on belt. I'm just going back to my regular belt. I'll be honest. I went through some emotions when I heard the news about the whole Glock changing, and of course, the 2A community was it's a big topic. I get it. You know, it did make me feel emotional a little bit because I'm into Glocks, so I like the way they are. So initially I was a little sad, a little bit. I was a little sad to know that it was changing. I didn't get into all the politics of it. I was just, as a consumer, as someone who buys Glocks, lots of them, just made me a little sad. But then I calmed down. And I was like, okay, it's probably not going to be that big of a deal. The reaction is going to be way worse than what's actually going to happen. It's not, so whatever. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But, it did make me a little sad. So, like I told you I was going to do. Did I say clear already? Clear. Like I told you I was going to do, because I do what I say I was going to do. I put those iron sights on here. These are the Ameriglow 5353, I think they are. I have them on every single. I only have like 2 other Glocks with no optic. These are a little different because they're suppressor height sight or whatever. I just woke up, man. I was trying to get in a little, reach out to you and chat with you before anybody gets home, because it's very rare that nobody's home. And I've been working a ton because of this business thing I'm getting into that's not related to YouTube. It's because there's no business in YouTube. I don't think there's any money in this thing anymore unless I wanted to be a complete sellout, which I'm very happy to be a sellout for the right price. I'm very happy to do that. Yeah, man. So happy, got the 17, got one butt ass naked with the exception of the sights. But they do sell some, the place I go, they do sell some 17s with some sights. They just have the glowy stuff in the back, and I'm not into that. I just want this to be plain and then have my glowy stuff in the front here. So as far as I'm concerned, it's butt ass naked. So I'm excited about this one. I want to shoot it. I've watched a ton of videos going back and forth between the 17 and the 47. The store I went to did have a 47 for Blue Label, so I could have got it for $480, something like that. But the recoil spring in the 17 is different. I think and I want to feel that difference. And I've always, I may get to it one day, but I've always wanted to do a video where I compared the, what am I titling this video? Yeah, here's my 17. It's got the sights. So I showed you. There it is. But I've always wanted to do a video where I compared the 17 with a 45 with a Radian Ramjet on it to put them head to head and see exactly what the difference is. And I suspect, well, actually, I think T-Rex Arms did it one time. I suspect that the 17 is gonna win out in terms of the softness of the recoil. I suspect that. But I can't wait to take this to the range to shoot, because I haven't put a single round through this. This thing is 0. It's got probably about 50 dry fires already, but it's got 0 actual rounds through it. So I can't wait to take it to the range probably next week and shoot it and have a good time. This thing just gives me all kind of confidence. I don't know. I don't even know if I can put a monetary value to how much confidence holding a 17 gives me. I mean, I could fucking go against zombies with 17. I will die because they're zombies, obviously. But I'm not gonna die scared. I'm not gonna die like no little bitch. Bring it on! Got my 17 with me with +2. That's how I'm going out with a 17. I'm going out. I'm going outside. You know what? I'm beating around the bush because there's actually something I want to tell you, but I don't want to be. There's actually something I want to talk to you about, but I don't want to be. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm just beating around the bush, man. I'm just beating around the bush, man. So the whole thing about switches, right? The whole thing about the switches. Obviously, I go to I watch YouTube content all the time and I read the content, and some of the stuff is getting real nasty, and it's getting real like, fuck, Bobby, just fucking say it. All right, so some of this shit is getting like, all right. Listen, the only thing I hate about Glocks, this is how I put it. The only thing I don't like about Glocks is that criminals seem to like Glocks for some reason. I'm sure it's not the only gun. I think it's because it's in a lot of gangster, like violent rap music. They're always talking about Glocks and stuff. And so I think that becomes the go-to gun for a lot of people that want to commit crime. And like AKs, Dracos, at one point I was hearing Draco. And I was seeing Dracos involved in crimes and stuff like that. And I don't like that. So this whole thing about the switches is bringing all that up because goons and hood niggas be putting switches on their guns. I don't know how else to say it, but I don't want to invite that kind of like, because here's the thing. I'm black, right? And I hate hood niggas. I hate goons. I hate criminals. I don't like that shit. I don't like the culture around switches. Now, I like when people go out to the desert or they go out to a range that allows it and they use their switch and they shoot on full auto and it's fun. I like seeing when people put a switch on a 44, a Glock 44, and you see it's like, and it's real quiet. It's fun. It's exciting, which is what it should be. But when gangster hood, shiesty mask wearing niggas, I'm sorry, but then here's what I don't want. I don't want my comment section filled with a bunch of racist shit because I'm still black. All right, so I don't want to be grouped in with that shit. You know what I mean? It's such a hard thing to talk about for me because I get real sensitive about that shit when people start just grouping all people together. You know what I mean? I don't even really know how to talk about that, man. Because I just don't want to invite that racist shit. I know a lot of guys, a lot of black folks that, work hard. They like their firearms. I don't know a lot of black folks that like their firearms. I know them online. I don't know a lot of them in real life, but I know them online that like their firearms. They're just cool, chill people. They're just like me, just like to shoot and want to defend their families and shit. And then I turn on the news and I see the goons and shit, the shiesty masks wearing, and I don't want to be attached to that shit. You know what I mean? But oh man, it's just I don't want to get into all that too much. I just don't like it. That's the only thing I don't like about Glocks is that some of the people that buy them are criminals and they get into that shit and they get, they have 100 rounds. I saw a video, right? I saw a video of these 3 look like teenagers wearing masks, breaking into this dude's driveway. No, breaking into his garage. And I guess he had a camera in his garage. And the guy, one of the kids, comes up to the camera and holds up a Glock. And the Glock has like 100-round drum in it. And he's basically saying, I think he says, don't come outside. Don't come out here. We're going to take this car. Don't come out here. And that's the shit that I don't like, man. I don't like that shiesty mask and a Glock and a switch and a 100-round drum become synonymous with crime and just thugs and that thug life and all that shit. I don't like that. I don't like when I hear, rappers rapping about killing people and all this other stuff. And the Glock is always the gun because Glock sounds cool to say. Glock just sounds like a gun. It just sounds like cool. Glock, get a Glock. When I think about Glocks, I think about Tommy Lee Jones telling who's the guy that played Iron Man, and that there's a movie with Tommy Lee Jones, the guy who plays Iron Man, and Wesley Snipes. I think it's not The Fugitive. It's something like The Fugitive, where Wesley Snipes is framed for a crime. The guy who plays Robert Downey Jr. is the bad guy. He's a cop, but he's a crooked cop. Or he's a fed, he's a crooked fed. And Tommy Lee Jones is like a local cop, but he's the good guy. And Tommy Lee Jones asked Robert Downey Jr., like, what kind of gun you're carrying? And he's carrying like a Chrome 226, or I don't know, something like that. I don't know what it is exactly. And Tommy Lee Jones' character says, like, get rid of that little nickel-plated sissy pistol and get a Glock, you know? And that's what I think of when I think about Glocks. I think about the channels I like to watch, the Garanthums. I think about Micah's channel. I think about I think about QVO Tactical's channel. When I think about Glocks, those are the kind of channels I think about. You know, I think about, you know, J Threads channel. I think about, you know, something tactical. You know, I think about the guys that you know, the guys that I follow, you know, though I think about that. But a lot of people think about the hood and think about like urban crime, you know, and they think about just hood thugs. I don't think that'll change because it's such a simple firearm, you know, it's such a simple piece, and that's just the bad side of it. But that's always bothered me, man. I don't know how to, and this whole thing about the switches and the change into the V model, it's bringing all that shit up, you know, and I don't know, man. I don't. It's not really I really can't control that. I can't control if somebody who's not black looks at me and associates me with hood niggas because I'm a black guy. They see a black hand with Glocks. I don't know. I can't control that shit, you know. But I like Glocks, you know. I like them, and I don't like them because I heard them in a fucking rap song, you know what I mean? Even though I do listen to rap, but I just hear something different, you know. I don't think criminal lifestyle, which is weird because I listen to rap, which glorifies crime in a lot of ways and glorifies violence in a lot of ways. Even though people don't want to admit it, it does. It's fucking ridiculous. Jadakiss just had what am I getting into? I'm supposed to be talking about guns. But Jadakiss just had a freestyle with Red Bull. They do that 360, whatever that camera is. And he's talking about shooting somebody's mother after she's done with dialysis or something like that. That's the bar. That's the line, which is crazy that you can even say that on the internet and not, you know, be something happened. You know, like that's the craziest shit I've ever heard. So I'll never understand why rap music is it's okay to just talk about murdering people or, you know, resolving your problems with violence all the time. There's no way you can explain. I don't want to hear no shit about, it's culture. We're just reporting what happens in the hood. I don't give a fuck. You're not reporting what happens in the hood. You're not talking about people losing their fathers. You're not talking about the damage, the terrorism. You're not talking about the rape. You're not talking about the despair, the hopelessness. You're not talking about, you know, it's like these gang members are like modern day Klansmen that are terrorizing. These are black people terrorizing black people. And you're not talking about that. You're talking about it. It's some tough guy shit. Like, if you disrespect me, I will murder you, which is insane. You know, I'm not into that. So when I hear that kind of shit, and it gets all associated with this firearm, you know, just this one. It's crazy, man. So I don't know. I didn't really want to take that turn. It's just on my mind to say, and I don't even know if I explained it well. I just don't want to invite a bunch of racist shit, like yeah, fuck niggas. You know, I don't want to get into that. But on the other hand, yeah, fuck niggas. You know, I don't know. I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't know. No, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. People already say the wildest shit in comment sections, and I was about to go back and forth with this guy, and I thought, you know what? What the fuck am I? This is such a waste of my fucking time. I just want to enjoy my guns, talk to people who enjoy guns, make friends with people who are cool and like guns, and we can just talk. And if we argue, it's like lighthearted. It ain't really that serious, but that's all I want to do. That's the only reason why I'm here, because I can't talk about this shit with the people at my job. Okay, I can't do it. If I start talking about the number of firearms that have crossed my path, just the sheer number, they would probably put me on a list somewhere. And I just like them. You know, I wish I could just hang them on the wall as art. I'm just into the mechanics and how they move and stuff. You know, I'm just looking forward to shooting this gun and feeling the recoil come through my hand. And I just know this one's gonna have a slower slide reciprocation than like a 19. And I just want to feel that. When I shoot, I just feel it. I'm like, boom, one round. I feel it. To see, oh man, this really feels good. I really feel the difference. When I'm shooting a 45 and it's controllable yet quick versus, you know, a 45 with a ramjet on it, and I feel like it's softened. It's like it's like a cushion, like almost like there's like an airbag or something in the slide. I enjoy that. I enjoy the smell of the range. I enjoy hearing the rounds hit off the concrete, the spent cases hit out. I just enjoy it. It's just a pleasurable experience for me. And I don't want to get mixed up with in the public's mind with crime and hood, but it's like they're stealing that, you know. Which is the funny thing. One person years ago made a comment when I was talking about what I hate about Glocks, which is some of the people that purchase them or possess them. A person made a good point. He said, yeah, well, cops carry Glocks too, and so do military. And you're right. I would prefer, I don't mind seeing it in law enforcement's arms. I wish it had that reputation where a Glock was synonymous with law enforcement. It was synonymous with military. It's synonymous with courage, bravery, protection, those kind of things. But it's just, you know, it's just not. It's kind of like the AR-15. In my mind, it's synonymous with freedom. It's synonymous with protection, home defense, things like that. Well, shotgun is definitely synonymous with home defense for me. But in some people's minds, it's synonymous with mass shootings. And I don't like that. You know, I don't like that. I love my AR-15. I love, it's, you know, 16-inch BCM. I love it. You know, to me, it's the Glock of rifles, of Armalite rifles. I love it. So, you know what's weird? You know what would be better if they made? Nah, I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. What are you guys talking about? That's it with me. That's it with my stuff. What are y'all talking about? Yeah, man, that's just the saddest thing, man. That's just the fucking saddest thing. Yeah. Yeah, man, that's just fucking ridiculous. All right. Waterhead, Waterhead 1359. I'm not a Glock hater. I've got 17, a 19, and 21. I'm upset Glock is doing this by bowing out its admitting the Glocks can easily be converted. They will still be sued by the same people in the States. Like you said, someone will make a new switch for the V. I'm sure other companies that produce semi-autos will be sued because of Glock. Please excuse my grammar. I'm from Florida and went to public school. Yeah, I mean, I don't, you know, it did make me sad at first, but you know, it's not, I'm not the one facing, you know, multiple $1 million lawsuits, which I suspect that's what's happening. You know, if someone was trying to bankrupt my company, I've got to do something. And to me, you know what I think? I think it's funny just in general. I notice a lot of people in my personal life, here on the internet, wherever I go, when people talk about things that they disagree with and things that they want, what you're basically saying is you want Glock, another company, to to make a different decision. But that decision ain't costing you nothing. It's not costing you $1 million in lawsuits. It's not costing you potentially jobs or whatever. They're trying to survive. And people are looking at it as, and yeah, I think in the end, somebody will just make another switch. But if it buys Glock another 20, 10, 20, 30 years of being able to produce firearms and being able to, as long as they don't have a drop in reliability, as long as they keep that, if it prolongs them and they can avoid any lawsuits and avoid giving a bunch of money to people, then okay, they're trying to survive. You know what I mean? And people do it every day, and they compromise. They compromise themselves all the time. They keep quiet when, okay, I can sit here and I can make a big deal about something my boss did, or I can call this person out, but it might cost me my job. So am I willing to do that? You can call it cowardice if you want, but it's easy to call it cowardice when it's not you. So what I want people to do is make sacrifices in their own lives. Okay, do that first. You give up everything, for a principle, and then we can talk about what it's like. But it seems like people have, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be politics, whatever it is. People love to tell other people to make a sacrifice. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I understand what you're saying. I get it, but I'm not mad at Glock for trying to survive, and I don't see it as bowing down. I see it as they're trying to survive. They're a company. They're trying to survive. They got people that work for them. They got families depending on them. They're trying to survive. And, if people had a little bit of foresight, they would go, they would wait to see what happens first. The V might come out, and to guys like me and you who know about firearms a little bit more than the average person, we may be like, this shit ain't different. They might put a little sticker on here that says, do not put a switch on, and it might be the same thing. So, but to the average Joe Blow, they might be like, oh yeah, good job, you made a change. Come on, we're the pistol brace people. We know, we know. So anyway, nothing like watching Bobby at work. Love you, homie. Matt HK2MI. I love you too, man. Appreciate you, homie. Appreciate you. Oh, got 14 likes. Got some love there. Appreciate it, man. Eric SR. What's up? What up, homie? What up? People love to talk shit when it's not their money. Glock's a business. Exactly. And I don't know if it's shit. I just think people are a little hurt because they love Glock. So I get it. They're about making money, not giving away litigation. California is one of the largest economies in the world. I'm going to make sure I can stay in it if I'm Glock. Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm not sure. I think that's the only reason the Glock Gen 3 exists, because of California. I think they would have stopped, making those a long time ago if it wasn't for California. I think that's the reason. But, they're trying to survive. They're trying to keep things going. Something tactical. What's up, homie? Speaking of the devil, where you been at? Where the fuck have you been? Where you been at? All my Glocks are now worth double. I did see on guns.com that the Glock 47 was like $1,300, which is crazy because you go right over to Academy and it's the regular price. So I don't know if people can sell things on Glocks, on guns.com, but if you got if you can buy a Glock, and flip it real quick, this might be a good time to make a couple $100. See, sometimes people look at bad times and they get emotional and stuff, but there are also opportunities. So there may be some opportunities for you to sell, make a couple, $500-$600. Buy a 19 MOS or 47 and see if you can list it somewhere for a couple more $100, man. Take advantage. I'm just saying, just saying. Wolf on One, exactly. There's going to be a new switch within a week of these new V-Series Glocks being released. Yeah, we know that, but it doesn't change the situation that Glock is in. So if it delays production of switches for a couple weeks, then I don't know how many switches are being sold, but, I think a big part of it is that, the kind of people that are using these switches, and, somebody shows up with a 100-round drum and a switch on a 19 at your front door. There's not much you can do about that, man. unless you got the same thing. But they're just spraying up, spraying up houses. You're gonna get hit. So I don't know. Oh, I don't know, man. I never wanted Glock to change. Yeah, man. No, me either. Me either. But, you do know that people were like out there like that. People were really bitching about Glock changing. Which I told y'all, if it's a Gen 6, the only thing I want to see is a little bit more beaver tail. They can put that new trigger in there if they want, that performance trigger if they want, metal sights. That's all you got to do for me. That's it. Maybe if you want to get really, really funky with it, maybe you put that same stippling on there. That's that stippling that's like on the shadow system. You can do the same if you want. If not, that's cool. That's really it, man. That's really it. You can just leave it at that. Or you can just leave this trigger in there. I've always been fine with Glock triggers. I don't need, 2 pound. I don't do all that stuff. Something Tactical does all that stuff. He will dial that thing down and have that thing like, you can shoot that bitch upside down. He's got it so dialed in. That's him. Me, I don't fuck with it. I put the sights on there and I feel like I'm a mechanic. After I put the sights on there, I feel like I did something. All right. That's me. Darth Dan I got a Glock 36 2 months before all this Glock news. It discontinued, but it's awesome. Slim 45 ACP. Nice. BX Rail. I went out and bought a 17, 19, 19X all together one day after the news broke. Yes, I did panic buy, and I don't care, and I don't regret it. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. He said, I don't care, and I don't regret it. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see. Eddie Martinez, 5566. Funny. Because I was finally able to snatch a Glock 17.5 MOS rebuild on a Glock store. Just picked it up and glad to have it in lineup. Hey, I love it, man. I love my 17. Haven't even shot it yet and can't wait, and just can't wait to sit out there and enjoy it. It's like hitting golf balls for me. Shooting guns is like hitting golf balls. It's just relaxing. Just relaxing. Matter of fact, the store I bought this from, I think they're doing bulk Federal 115. I think it's a box of 250 for 70 bucks. So I did the math. I think that's less than 30 cents a round, maybe. I have to do the math again, but I'll probably go by and get 500 rounds. So 500 rounds for 120 bucks, 140 bucks, is that? Yeah, that might be less than 30 cents a round. Waiting for you, man. Lucky to have a 47 and a 26, both MOS Gen 5. Glock boy, fanboys for life. AR, Vin Dave, Lasco 125. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. I like that. W Penman 3. Good stuff, Bobby. No freaking out personally, but I did fall off the wagon after 2 years without buying a gun and get a 26 MOS. Not mad at you. If you let me know if you are considering getting that Glock frame, the 26X frame, putting on an MOS. That might be the move. It feels like a little baby 45. Maybe. I'm not sure why Glocks didn't make a 26X. I mean, I don't get it. They did a 19X. They did a 43X. What, I don't get. Just logical next step to me would be 26X. I don't know. It's like they skipped over it. I couldn't beat the price in panic buying. Got the market messed up. Happy Glocktober to you. Happy Glocktober. My favorite month of the year. My favorite month. Us Lawman, 1983. Been carrying Glock pistols since the 90s and have built up not just a pistol lineup, but also holsters, mags, spare parts, etc. While I'm not pleased about how they rolled out the news of these changes, but I'm not throwing the proverbial baby out with the bathwater. I don't even know what proverbial means. I have to look that up after we're done here. I think that with some patience, we may very well find out this is a good thing. Yeah, I think with some patience, we'll figure out it's not as bad as the crazy reactions. That's what I think we'll find out. Let's see. Horse Goat, RG3DF. Horse Goat? That sounds filthy. That sounds. Got one from the '80s, still in the box. Never shot it. Okay, cool. That's nice. Nasty MK fan. I hope Glock Gen 6 will have an undercut at the trigger guard. Yeah, that might be nice. I'm so glad I got 17C Gen 3 already. Yes, I'm also in California. Oh, sorry to hear that you're in California, but I'm happy to hear that you got your Glock. The Virginian 6592. Oh, hey, I was born in Virginia. I was born in Hampton, Virginia. I was there, wasn't there long, but I was born there. The V model isn't changing anything other than caving to the left. Oh, fuck, for fuck's sake. For fuck's sake. There, okay. This isn't going to become that, all right? I'm not going to get into that. What I will say is that I'm sympathetic to Glock because they're trying to survive, and I think politics is a funny thing. I think politics is a game where people try to make someone look like the enemy who's actually not the enemy, to manipulate this person, to hate that person, all of this stuff. Because there's a scenario in which this whole thing just benefits Glock. If let's say the sales of Glocks were slow, they put out this news like this. Everyone goes out, lots of people go out and panic buy Glocks. The price of Glocks goes up, the existing ones. Then they come out with the new models, which everyone has to buy because something is slightly different, or maybe something's not compatible. There's a scenario in which this works 100% for Glock. But meanwhile, you're mad at somebody else. You know what I mean? You ever seen that thing where you walk up to somebody and you tap them on the shoulder furthest away from you, and then you look the other way? To me, that's politics. It's always like that. So I don't get into that whole, unless you got proof that somebody specifically wrote a bill or wrote a policy or filed a lawsuit, unless you can post a link that this person filed this lawsuit, which leads to this, I don't always buy what's right in front of me. I always question what's right in front of me. And that, to me, that's the answer that you gave was the most obvious answer. It's not the most obvious answer, but it's the easiest answer. Oh, it's just the people that don't like guns. Really? But California, the reason why they have Glock Gen 3s is because of California. So that means they're buying a lot of guns. So you got this huge state, California, that's buying all these damn Glock Gen 3s. And they may say we want a 10-round magazine limit and all this other shit, but they're still buying guns, you know? So I think it's way more than that. It could be, who knows who's really behind it. You'd have to do a little bit more digging. It's just not, oh, these people did it. Nah, I don't know. You know, I don't know. When I don't know. OG Bugs, ML and laugh my ass off. Love the realism and humor, brother. You got a new subscriber. Oh, hey, well, rack of applause for a new subscriber. OG Bugs. Rack of applause for the homie. Which is funny about subscribers because I cannot get over 10K, dude. I cannot. I've never given a fuck about subscribers, the count. Not you guys, but the count. I've never given a fuck about that until I got really close to 10K and I was like, you know what? I'd like to see 10K. And fuck, I just cannot get it. I don't know if it's because I curse on this thing. Fuckity fuck. I don't know if that messes me up. But one of my videos started getting flagged. Like started having these weird flags on them. And I was like, what the fuck? What is going on here? What's so wrong with it? Anyway. Excuse me. Mike Spicy Winner. Good snag. I was able to get a 47 from my local gun store. Glad to have some modularity with my 19.5. I like people that say 19.5 instead of 19 Gen 5. It just, to me, the shorthand. I like that shorthand. And LGS for local gun store. That's cool. You must be military. 124, laugh my fucking ass off. I forgot what I said at 124. Probably the whining. Edward Hunt. It's probably going to be my last one. I guess you can say I'm one of the people panic buying, but I don't think this is ridiculous. All the V series is going to be is what Glock has always been, a line of semi-automatic pistols. If people feel that strongly about being able to illegally convert their firearm to fully automatic, contact their congressman and ask them to sponsor a bill to repeal the NFA. The only reason I went and bought mine today is I didn't want to wait for Glock to come out with an MOS version of the new V series. Luckily for me, I walked and literally got the last 45 they had. The only thing they had left was a 17, 44, 43X, and a 48. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think the thing is that uh, the philosophy that you should we get rid of NFA? Uh, I don't know. I don't even know enough to speak intelligently about that. I don't even know enough. Um, yeah, what I will say is, to me, if you make laws based on, they all have consequences. And if you are trying to deal with a certain group of people, a certain population, a certain demographic that is doing these things, criminals that are doing these things, and you make laws that affect the law-abiding folks, it's a given. I don't know. I don't know, because what's going to really be crazy is when they just come up with a new switch. I mean, that's going to happen. It's going to happen. It might require some shaving down of this or shaving down of that. It's just like an AR. You can basically just drill into it. Never mind. Never mind. Not trying to get anybody in trouble. JW Walks. Nice. I see you have a Glock's performance trigger in your new 17. I do not. I do not. This is not a performance trigger. This is just a basic trigger. I have never owned a Glock performance trigger, and I probably never will. Probably never will, unless it comes out, stock like that. But yeah, man, I'm just happy to have this. Looking forward to shooting it. I'm about to go get some barbecue for lunch. Probably call Mrs. Dynamite. See how she's doing. She's got some medical stuff going on lately, so that's really been consuming a lot of my mind. Trying to be very supportive about that. Life is very fragile, so don't waste your time being a piece of shit. Okay. All right, fellas. Have a good weekend. We're going into the weekend. Tomorrow is Halloween, right? Isn't it Halloween? Yeah. So have a safe Halloween. Take your kids out. If you got kids, people are going to be wearing masks, so be safe. Make sure you have your something on you, because you're a protector. Hopefully you are. Hopefully, if you're listening to me, you're a protector. If you're a guy and you're not a protector of women and a protector of the vulnerable, I don't know what the fuck you're useless. You're just fucking useless. If the only thing you protect is your ego, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's just like be a hero, man. Be a fucking hero, okay? Just be a fucking hero. Please, be a hero. Don't be a fucking villain. All right. Have a great weekend, man. Don't start any shit, and I mean that. Don't start shit. But if shit gets started, we have an answer. Have an answer for that. Love you, man. Have a great weekend, man. I'll talk to you soon, man. I'll see you. I'll see your bitch ass in the comments.